My people, do you know that this APC government is behind what is happening in Nigeria today? You cannot tell me that a country that want to spend up to 9 million US dollars in order way to stop the US government of investigating Christian genocide in Nigeria. They say the Anyash don't open, the Anyash, you know, that they don't finally open the Anyash. I want you to listen to this, our brother. And I want you to hear wetin the lawmakers they talk concerning the Christian genocide, where they had the one Tinubu and wife one try to manipulate them, and Nigeria government had the one try to cover them. And another update wey we come dey get, as one of the lawmakers don come outside come talk say make they divide Nigeria, say Nigeria don already expire. Things are really happening. I go show you the videos, make you watch before we come back and continue. Stay tuned.
In the United States, I think, as we all know here, but many know it around the world, religious freedom is often called America's first freedom, since it's listed first in our Bill of Rights. The founders wrote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof." The Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause protect the right of conscience of every American, that inviolable domain of the heart of every human being. And of course, religious freedom is not at all an American right alone. It's one that belongs to every human being on the face of the earth. Yet all around the world today, religious persecution is festering and exploding. What has been unconscionable for decades and centuries has actually gotten worse in many parts of the world. Billions of human beings made in the image and likeness of God live in countries where the God-given right to freely exercise their religion is severely restricted, many to the point of incarceration, torture, and execution. And then on the topic of Nigeria, President Trump's country of particular concern designation in October was necessary, long overdue, and bold. In his first administration, with the strong backing of our ambassador at large, Sam Brownback, President Trump recognized that the mass killings by Boko Haram, ISIS West Africa, and armed Fulani terrorists against Christians in the Middle Belt, which are clearly motivated by ethnic and religious animus, meant Nigeria's met the need for being designated CPC and was so designated. Genocide Watch has called Nigeria a killing field of defenseless Christians. And now, the International Religious Freedom Act, brilliantly written by our former colleague, Frank Wolf, a true champion of religious freedom. And that bill was opposed vigorously. He got it passed into law in 1988, and it has made a major difference globally, including now in Nigeria. We can't take our eyes off of that. I just want to say to my colleagues, to all of us, I'm deeply concerned that Nigeria has hired the K Street lobbying firm, DCI, to the tune of $9 million. $750,000 a month. And Nigerian billionaire has entered into a $120,000 a month contract with Valcor to influence Congress and the executive branch. And Ambassador, you know as well as I over these many years, because you have fought this fight. They hire these firms, they come up with their very well-written talking points to say, nothing to see here. Whether it be Haiti, China does it better than anyone else, or worse really is what it is. We saw it with Romania. I remember during the years of Nicholas Ceausescu, and I led the effort on that along with Frank and you, Sam, Mr. Ambassador. And they always had these lobbying firms that said, Ceausescu is a good guy. He has all these churches that he has opened. He was torturing Christians. And the book that got me into religious freedom myself was Tortured for Christ by Richard Wurmbrand, who talked about the duplicity and unfortunately, how these firms are just so good at advocating for their client. Well, advocate for freedom and end to religious persecution.
At this moment, the fear is becoming real, like it is becoming more scarier now. It is now that people will begin to understand what I have been saying for years. Okay, I was listening to the governor of Kwara State. The governor was saying that after 5 months, the ISIS, they call them Boko Haram, the ISIS sent a letter to the people of Kwara State that they are coming to teach them the details of Sharia that they should get ready to accept. After 5 months, 5 months, so day before yesterday, they stormed Kwara State. And you know what happened? They killed 170 people who do not understand or obey what they are teaching. And some of these people they killed, they were Muslim. Some of the people massacred, they are Muslims. Among them are other people, including Christians. People who do not believe in Sharia. Like, I was listening to the governor, I said, oh, good morning to everybody. So, it is now that you people know that this is what is going on in Nigeria since Abi. I understand that they have been trying to do damage control, like what is going on is not Sharia. They are not pushing Sharia. It's just a normal terrorism. And then I'll be asking one question. What do they want? What did the Fulani militia want? What did the Boko Haram want? ISWAP, what do they want? Like, what is their aim? What is their mission? You know, I ask this question all the time. But people who try to control narratives because of their business or the plug they have that is giving them money from the government, we always come out to tell you, no, it is not Sharia. It is not religious something. Oh, so the government is now coming out to say that Boko Haram killed 170 Yoruba people because they refuse to accept the dictates of Sharia. No, the government is now coming out to make the statement, right? It go clear for now. I like, time will come. Everybody will now understand. See, if you are not 5 years ahead of these people, you will know what is going on. They will be deceiving you, like they will be driving you. If you even talk, they will tell you that, no, you are bigger than that now, don't say this now. They want to be politically correct at the detriment of the people. 170 Yoruba people were killed because they refused to accept Sharia. A governor is opening his mouth to say this. Nigeria is gone, no. It's not happening where you are does not mean it will not happen if they did not stop Nigeria now. If they did not stop Nigeria now, Nigeria will stop everybody. This one is not matter of God forbid. Those people who died, God still love them. For remove religion mentality from what we are saying now, okay? I want you to carry the mentality of survivor in your head now, because these people are on rampage. They are on rampage. Now, my own pain inside is that the government are sponsoring these people. The people in government who believe in Sharia are more than these extremists. People in government who believe in this Sharia are greater than these extremists. When Ted Cruz, US Senator, said that Sharia must be scrapped out of Nigeria, a lot of people said, no, Ted Cruz should not make that statement. He should not go to that angle. He should not do this. He should not do that. You know, but I was telling them that the problem in Nigeria was Obasanjo accepting Sharia into the Nigerian constitution. There have been all this killing of the Southerners in the north before, you know, and so on and so forth. Boko Haram came. It was like one corner, but all of them are leveraging on Sharia. Like, we are fighting for Allah. We are fighting for Allah. You are an imam, you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you do not understand the dictates of Sharia. You are gone and gone forever. They will kill you, they will behead you, and so on and so forth. So, don't forget that they also wrote a letter in Osun State. They have not responded to Osun people. There is a letter they wrote to Osun people. They have not responded. Don't think they are not coming. They will come and your government won't be able to save you. This is the danger of one Nigeria. You cannot escape it. We are not saying this because there is something that we hate about Nigeria. But the issue is that it cannot work. How many years are we going to continue like this? Like, how many years? The US are already in Nigeria. They are going to start action immediately, according to what I got this morning. But how would they be able to solve the problem in government houses? I don't know, but they know. I don't know. The problem in government houses are greater than the problem outside the government houses. Okay? The problem in government houses are greater than the problem outside the government houses. Most people in the government are the one buying guns, supplying it to the people outside the government. Now, before I continue this video, for those of you who may not understand my concept, pay attention to this video. Listen.
Well, you see, people don't know what Sharia is all about. First of all, Sharia is the principles and practice of Islam. You can't separate Sharia from Islam. They are one and one. So any Muslim who tells you that he doesn't want to live Islam according to Sharia, then he's not a Muslim.
Do you think Nigeria should become a Sharia nation?
That is my ambition, and that is the ambition of every Muslim in this country.
So, as a leader, governor, chairman, president, you are expected to run your affairs with the dictates of Sharia. So, as a leader, governor, chairman, president, you are expected to run your affairs with the dictates of Sharia.
Item 62 says National Assembly shall not make any law that affects Islamic law. So this is second schedule. So this amendment is against second schedule, item 60.
Well, you see, people don't know what Sharia is all about. First of all, Sharia is the principles and practice of Islam. You can't separate Sharia from Islam. They are one and one. So any Muslim who tells you that he doesn't want to live Islam according to Sharia, then he's not a Muslim, because he doesn't even know what is Islam. If you are a Muslim, you have to live your life according to the dictates of Sharia. From the time you are born up to the time you will marry, the relationship between you and your parents when you are small, your responsibility to them or their responsibility to you, the relationship between you and your wife, if you marry, how you will marry, your responsibility to your wife, then your responsibility to the neighbors, to the entire society, is all defined under Islam, under Sharia. That is what is called Sharia. It is not just the capital punishment that people are talking about. This is just part of one aspect of Sharia. The major aspect of Sharia is called Mu'amala. That is how you relate with human beings, other human, even animals. There are ways we have to cut and kill our animals. There are ways you enter toilet. There is way you come out of toilet. So everything in Islam is defined under Sharia. So it's a code of life for Muslims. So as a leader, governor, chairman, president, you are expected to run your affairs with the dictates of Sharia.
So do you now understand? So as a Muslim, he was even referring to people, his fellow Muslims who do not believe in Sharia. He's telling them as a Muslim, any Muslim that said that he don't believe in Sharia, the person don't know what he's doing, that you are not a real Muslim. You must believe the dictates of Sharia. And dictates of Sharia, he's telling them, is not only radicalism. And let me tell you what they mean by radicalism. You must be radical because you have been mandated to kill people who do not believe. You have been mandated to kill people who do not believe. Do you now see why I said Nigeria must not remain as one country? It's a death trap. Nigeria is a death trap. And every now and then, I used to make this statement, often, that while I was growing up as a Christian, I was being taught, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do this, for the betterment of the society. And while they were teaching other people, you have a mandate to kill people who do not believe. You have a mandate to collect jizya tax from non-Muslims. And look at, the most funny thing is that the ISIS Boko Haram people who stormed Kwara State day before yesterday, they did not come to even ask for jizya tax. It is Fulani militia that are always asking for jizya tax. Okay? These people just come. Because they wrote later 5 months ago, they expected that these people must have been converted, be waiting for them, believing in Sharia. So what they met is not what they prepared for. What did they do? They started cutting off their heads, killing them. In this 2026, Nigeria, guys, continue to believe in your Nigeria. This is not what anybody with a normal sense will opt for in this 2026. Nobody will fold his or her hand and opt for this country. Now, the funny part of this thing is that DSS cannot tell us that they don't know the people who carry out the attack. I want you to pay attention. Pay attention. The military cannot tell us that they don't know people who carry out this attack. Now, in the same Kwara State, the military captured 4 people who were given AK-47 by Rebadu's office. These people are not police, they are not soldiers, bloody Meetiana people. They were given AK-47. Army captured them, they swept the case under the carpet. Who gave National Security Advisor Rebadu order to even possess AK-47? Talk less of to give people AK-47. So, you see, you people have to emancipate yourself from this mentality. Emancipate yourself. This is how we were. Coalition of Buhari and Tinubu imported Fulani. Almost 700,000 of them. Some of them said 3 million. Some of them said 1 million. But the most important thing is that they imported these terrorists and they accepted they imported it just to remove Jonathan. They accepted that they imported these terrorists to remove Jonathan. Up to today, Tinubu is the president. After Buhari, Tinubu entered. These are the 2 people that formed the coalition from CPC to ACN that imported these bandits. Like, why is it that black man don't reason? Black man don't reason. Don't tell me don't say this. Black man don't reason. If they want to reason, that reason must be something that will benefit them or their influence. Finish. Nothing like sacrifice. Let me do something even though it will not benefit me. Let me say the truth even though the truth will not benefit me. They are there just trying to do what they want to do. They want to make influence. They want to make money. After that, nothing else. And let me tell you, this is a generational problem. It's a global problem that is generational. The earlier you realize this, the better for you.
Let me get into terror financing, and then I'll come to the OSW you talked about. Yeah. For you, successive administrations have paid lip service to unmasking prominent Nigerians allegedly financing terror and oil theft. Why do you hold this view? Allegedly so. And do you know, one would ask whether you know them. If true, what do you think is responsible for the past administration's attitude, regarding this so-called financiers of terror?
Okay, thank you very much again for this brilliant question. Now, let me, relate to my experience, right, as the commander of the Operation Service Wide, which was an intelligence-driven outfit. Now, like I said, we picked the main leaders and other facilitators, financiers, sponsors, and then we commenced investigation.
By picked, you mean you arrested?
Arrested, captured, arrest. Now we picked them. That is, it was a collaborative effort. Those elements that I mentioned, and investigation was ongoing. And the investigation team was made up of representatives from the Department of State Services, from the Defense Intelligence Agency, from the military police, that's the army aspect of it, from the NFIU, the investigation, and it revealed so much. And like I earlier said, right, certain intelligence was shared. We were collaborating with about 33 countries in Europe, Western Europe, Asia, and all of this were collaborating with us on this. Now, in the course of the investigation, I mean, we stumbled upon names of individuals, prominent individuals, and some of them are still prominent, and including the owner of an airline who was ferrying weapons allegedly for Boko Haram and all of this. So, those information, we took our concern, I mean, made our concern known, I mean, the investigation in terms of interim to the powers that be at the time. And some of those people were linked to even cabinet ministers. Some of the people were even arrested. Some of the people who were investigating were linked to them. Were linked to senior military, retired now, of generals and the rest, like linked to many prominent distinct. And in the course of our investigation, I mean, we now, let me just add also, we had 3 representatives from the Attorney General of the Federation Office, that's Minister of Justice, that were with us to guide us while we were making the case, right? Because ultimately, the Office of the Attorney General was to prosecute
those you arrest.
Right. Now, but as the thing progressed, I mean, we started noticing some kind of how should I put it? We noticed some kind of hesitation. I mean, things started coming up like, okay, some of these people, I mean, to be difficult to pin terrorism financing on them, perhaps money laundering. I mean, look, then you started getting some calls that some people, you know, prominent that should release. So the person is not this and that, something. This. As a commander, I made my concern known to the president, late President Muhammad Buhari. I made it known. I said, so listen, and I recall on one occasion, he stood up, very angry. He said, General, I appointed you as the commander of Operation Service Wide. You report to me and to me alone. That was his exact words to me. General Muhammad Buhari, a great man. I mean, of course, he had his shortcomings. I was very angry when the whole thing happened, and I mean, he didn't even raise a finger to this thing. But I later came to realize, you know, that perhaps he was misled.
People, I want you to share this video and drop your own opinion for inside comment section as you don't read right now.